options. Sony Ericsson, Intel, and G-Skill. Computers here at the GOM studio have... Hold on, here is... GOM studio computers have Intel processors and G-Skill RAM.
Yeah.
And actually, it's a little known fact that the computers here carry around Sony Ericsson phones.
That's true.
In case they need to call anyone.
The computers actually make a lot of phone calls.
Yep. Here is...
I am happy.
I never figured out how they dialed them. I think it was voice activated.
Yeah.
What they did.
Maybe they're connected to a modem port so that the computer's modem can dial for it. And MMA going for gas first. Happy going for barracks first. A little bit of a difference here. It looks like Happy is going to be going for early bio units. Actually, might go for an early expand, come to think of it. Which would be good on this map.
We'll just have to wait and see if he goes for gas right now, which is the normal timing. It looks like he is not going to make a gas. He's going to be going for a 1 barracks expand. And, you know, 1 barracks expand versus gas first. Gas first can be quite dangerous, especially if you catch your opponent off guard, if you can deny him scouting. But you see Happy is scouting very early. It's a good thing to do when you go for 1 barracks expand. You want to know whether or not your opponent's gone gas first. And in most cases, if your opponent has gone gas first, especially on a 2-player map, you'll be able to see that no matter what, because the Marine's going to be out late. And so he does get in here.
Ooh,
he's going to see the gas.
Oh, yeah, he sees the gas. He doesn't see the barracks yet. He's going to find it in a second, though, I think. Yep, there he is.
Does see it, so nothing out of the ordinary. Factory goes down immediately for MMA. In fact, the SCV may see it, and that's going to, of course, narrow down the options. It could have been a Reaper expand, but yeah, does see it. You don't normally see Reapers with gas first, but you do sometimes see it.
Yeah, occasionally. Usually, yeah, 9 times out of 10, the gas first is going to be a quick factory.
Yeah. And second gas shown as well. He is actually just showing everything to Happy's SCV. The SCV is still alive in the base. It's going to be now chased away by this Marine.
Yeah, finally makes a Marine. Is he going to be able to...
Oh, man.
Oh, the SCV. Is he going to get away?
Yeah, actually very well could escape, but no.
Wrong angle there.
Now, well...
Oh, he's juking.
That sounds the same sound that the SCV made before he died.
Exactly. The SCV the Marine was hiding behind the refinery, so it looked like the SCV just gave up and self-destructed, so he couldn't be caught and tortured.
Command Center is going down, of course, for Happy. He continued on with that 1 barracks expand. He's added 2 gases.
Now, the Marine zoned out that SCV, so he did not see the starport going down.
He did not see the starport. He did, however, see the factory. And you can pretty much assume that it's going to be a Banshee expand. But with the second gas, you know, sometimes Cloak is assumed in that case. First Banshee is on the way. And factory just now halfway done for Happy. This is, of course, pretty normal for the factory to be this far behind. Reactor going down on the barracks of MMA.
Yeah, pretty standard for the gasless expand. And he actually floated the factory out to a weird proxy position. That's interesting.
And actually is making a siege tank from that location as well.
Huh.
So I think he's going to do the Korean style of Banshee, where you make Banshee to try to kill off your opponent's Marines and follow up with a timing attack.
Yeah.
But this SCV is going to see the factory. That's not going to mean a ton. Like, he can't actually just assume this is a Thor rush or anything. Like, there's nothing much to assume from this. All he knows is that, will you plan on reinforcing with tanks more soon, or you're going for a Thor rush, which is very unlikely as well. Now he sees the tank and the Banshee.
Wow, gave away both those.
Happy has actually been able to know everything that's going on in this game.
Yeah, there's been no point in the game where he didn't know what MMA was doing.
There's nothing he doesn't know, except he doesn't know about that reactor over there. And he doesn't know those depots just got lowered. but otherwise, he knows everything.
After the game, Happy's going to watch the replay and be like, oh, man, he lowered his depots. No, I wish I'd known about that. I should have scanned.
2 Marines actually pop out at a very opportune moment here, and the Banshee actually had nowhere to fly. Even the Marine in the bunker was able to take a few shots at her. But yeah, we are going to see this timing attack from MMA. He's got 2 tanks out. He's not going to go with Siege, but a little known fact, actually, Siege tanks in tank mode outrange bunkers. So he's actually going to be able to hit that bunker with his tanks in tank mode, try to target it down. Those Marines are actually not hiding with their friend. Maybe the guy in the bunker smells really bad, but they're going to have to get over it when this attack hits and get in that bunker. They're not getting in there, man. I don't know why they're not.
Death or smelling a bad smell. It's your choice. Cake is not an option in this scenario. Now, MMA is halfway done with siege mode now, so he may just keep building up forces, wait for one more round of units. If one more round of units rallies forward to that location, siege mode will be done, and then he might go in with all the forces that he has.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen.
And Happy is a little bit behind on siege mode, so MMA is going to have a window where he could just kill him with siege mode.
Both players are making Vikings, and of course the Viking lead is going to go to MMA just slightly, but by the time his third Viking gets there, Happy will have his third Viking most likely as well.
Siege mode is up for MMA, but he's not going in. He needs to go in now, otherwise Happy siege mode will be completed, and he'll be able to defend.
He is going in now. He's not moving his tanks forward, though, being a little bit too cautious with them, and now the siege mode of Happy has finished.
Oh, and MMA misses his timing.
But
he might still win, though.
Yeah, he still has the Banshees that can do attacks.
Yeah, this is a dangerous situation. He's using the Vikings to spot that bunker. Happy immediately salvages it, and oh, I think it died actually.
Yeah, it
before
did
getting
not
salvaged.
get the money back.
There you go.
And he's going to slowly move his tanks over to hit those of Happy's, but does get shot. Botches it a little bit.
Now, we might see him do the same thing that Ganji did that I was talking about before, where he can actually hit the tanks with the Banshee and then protect. But no, MMA has less Vikings now, so I don't think it's going to work anymore.
This is not going to work very easily, that's for sure.
Oh, and he baits the Vikings out. He goes in with his own Vikings. Actually, there's 4 now for MMA. Who's going to target fire better? But oh no, MMA fights the Viking fight over Happy's Marines, and Happy takes a commanding air lead and is able to drive off that Banshee.
Yeah, this is a super all-in from MMA. It's so all-in he's even dropped an add-on supply depot at home. That was just a joke. He actually did do that, but he has not made a command center. He's going to pull back here, but he is so far behind. He has not started a command center. What's he going to do? He just going to go back and take the watchtower? Is that what he's going to do? He's just going to take the watchtower? No! You're in trouble, MMA. What are you going to do? You have to double expand or do something now. Set up a soft contain, or else you're going to be in so much trouble.
Yeah, that's what he has to do right now. Now he's making a command center. But I think you're right. I think he needs to double expand and use the forces that he has right now to try and defend and slow him down. And let's see. Nope, not saving up for another command center, just building up some extra barracks.
He's putting his units on the watchtower. He's also sending Marines around to different locations to spot for any sneaky drops Happy might do. So he feels comfortable rallying all of his troops to that one location. And Happy, is he actually going to try to break down here?
Oh no.
Oops.
Oh, huge vision advantage for MMA with the watchtower. Picks off a tank for free, and Happy walks back up into his base. And that's what MMA is counting on.
Considering that he had Vikings to spot for such things.
That's what MMA is counting on too, by falling back and trying to expand, is hoping that the forces he has can hold off Happy from moving out and counterattacking.
And he scans here rather than using his Vikings, which again is a little bit disappointing. When you have air control and you know it, you should use it. He actually could be attacking those tanks with his Banshee right now, but he's not doing it for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's actually really surprising to me. I'm like, oh man, Happy's actually got this game. He's just like, no, Wolf, I'm just going to scan instead. I'm like, really? All right, he's going to move down here, but now his opponent, Happy, is actually just playing so sloppy, man.
Yeah, MMA.
There he goes. Now he's starting to be careful and use those Vikings.
There you go. Yeah, you know, he had an opportunity there to use his Banshee when the Marines weren't there, and now the Marines are there, so he's kind of lost that opportunity.
He could have saw with his Vikings that the Marines weren't there, but he scanned instead and saw they weren't there anyways, but then still didn't send his Banshee to do damage. It was a little bit surprising. Now he's doing it in a very scary situation, but if he controls this just right, which he is so far not doing, losing some tanks unnecessarily.
Oh, and the Vikings of MMA are here, though.
Yeah, this is actually...
And it looks like he's barely going to win the air battle.
Yeah, just barely. And moving his Marines is a little bit too far forward.
Yes.
No, actually he lost, Happy lost the air battle there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what you meant.
That's what I meant. I think
yeah.
I thought MMA was barely going to win the air battle because of Happy taking a little damage on his Vikings before. So MMA, had with that slight advantage, is able to push Happy back into his base.
Happy is actually playing this so sloppy. There's actually so many different options he has here. One of the options is to go down towards his third base and attack from 2 different locations at once where the tanks are a little bit more spread. attacking down against a concave down a ramp with using your Marines instead of your Vikings is actually not the right answer.
Nope.
Happy, and I think he's starting to realize that now he's going to do a drop. A Marine is over on the left side to spot for it, but he does not see it. There's another Marine spotting. He may end up catching this. It's going to be kind of a luck thing as to whether or not the Marine is walking in the other direction at the moment. It looks like he's not going to see it.
What? No. Oh. Well, he's actually dropping the units out now. And he's definitely going to see it now because one of his Marines is going to die. That'll alert him, and so he is bringing back...
Oh, see, he actually stemmed those Marines with the thought that there would be a third base there no matter what. He's like, MMA would do the one thing that anyone would do in this case is to make a third base, but actually there's none there, and he's like, oh, okay, you actually don't have a third here. That was a smart move by Happy. Yeah. It was reasonable of him to expect there to be a third there.
Yeah, and so, I mean, that's a win-win thing, though, because now he's like, all right, well, you don't have a third, so we're actually on even footing, so that's fine.
Yeah, and right now the supply is still in Happy's favor despite him losing a lot of units in those earlier battles. He just was able to keep so many more from that early expansion from defending that push of MMA. And Happy is slowly moving down the ramp again. I don't think this is necessarily the right move. And he's actually going to win the Viking battle again, it looks like. Banshee's doing some extra damage, and just barely will he win it. He will just barely win this one. Microing back just to make sure. Targets down the Vikings, and now he's ahead here. His Marine's running a little bit too far forward, though. And the Banshee's doing some extra damage to MMA, but at the same time, his Banshee doing some damage as well. And MMA actually just crawling his way back into this game.
Yep. He didn't come out ahead of that, but he came out less behind than he was before.
Now, here's the advantage that MMA has that he's not actually using quite yet. He actually has the ability to take a third safely because Happy is kind of stuck.
Yeah.
Whereas Happy has a command center that he wants to use, but he's not quite sure if he can. Oh, he's actually going to move it down. I like this choice so he can control the watchtower and have that command center up.
Yeah, I'm really surprised, and of course, just as I'm about to say it, he does, but I've been surprised that MMA didn't make another command center like 4 or 5 minutes
Even
ago.
Happy was surprised when he stemmed 6 Marines over there to kill it, and it wasn't there.
Exactly.
Well, there is a medevac actually that escapes the eye of Happy. It's going to run and drop at the natural, and there's no turrets there. There's not a lot of units. In fact, Happy's moving out right now.
Army out, yeah.
This could do a lot of damage.
There's nothing there. He's going to get some SCVs. Happy needs to pull him quickly. He's not pulling him very quickly at all. He's not reacting. Happy is not reacting to the drop at all. Now he's sending a few forces in there.
And that Viking will most likely clean up the drop. In fact, Happy turned all of his units around. Meanwhile, the reason he wasn't paying attention was because he was microing that dropship full of Marines, again, to stem and run in and attack a base that wasn't there. And there's those Marines right now. You can see that Happy is destroying these rocks. He wants to have a faster route to his opponent's natural. He knows he's got the army advantage right now.
Yeah, definitely. Now, MMA, though, can defend. He can take up a defensive position. Not, though. He's kind of still posturing around the middle of the map, maybe looking for a flank or a counter or something.
Oh, he finally finds a commander with the squad of Marines that's been looking for it all this time.
And MMA is having to fall back here.
He's actually going to just counterattack. This actually could go well for MMA.
Oh,
it's the best situation you could hope for, but there are tanks in position.
Oh, so much slaughter going on at both bases. MMA taking out everything of Happy's, and in the meantime, Happy occupying MMA's base. And you know what? I think Happy is killing off MMA's last orbital as it tries to float out.
He has one more command center. The command center that Squad of Marines is always looking for. Yeah, and Happy actually is going to take out that engineering bay, send most of his Marines back. He's just going to kill the depots to shut down the production of MMA. And MMA's army, you know, it's pretty small, but it's still very mobile.
Oh, and he's going to try and kill the starport in case this comes to a base trade. Can he get it burning? No, not quite. He's going to actually use a medevac to kill off that starport, because in a absolute base trade situation, the starport can actually be the most effective, because one Viking can win you the game if you can kill their floating buildings.
That's very true, and he will get that starport. But even so, the army of Happy is about twice the size of that of MMA's.
Yeah.
It's going to take great tank positioning by MMA to win this battle, and even if he does have perfect positioning, I don't think he can win. He's actually going to kill this orbital maybe at the north, but he's got so many forces away from the main army of Happy. And the orbital will go down, but there's still one more orbital left for Happy. He's actually floating it away right now. The tank has found it, but it's flying away.
This is absolutely crazy. Happy definitely has the better army, has had the better army, is coming out better in this trade. If MMA can pull off this trade in an advantageous way, it will
This
be
is what, actually, what I was
genius.
going to say MMA should do is exactly what he's going to do. He should land his barracks and form a sim city so the superior marine count of Happy cannot be used. That's exactly what he's doing.
Beautiful.
But he can't block off both sides. There's two different attack locations that Happy can choose, and he looks like he's going to choose the correct path going around the bottom side here.
Yep.
Meanwhile, he's actually making 2 starports down the south as well.
Oh, wow.
Command Center of MMA is going to try to land and get some extra mining. He's got 2 Command Centers. One's an orbital, one is just a regular Command Center.
And those Vikings spot exactly what's going on. Happy is camped out above this, and the Banshee's going to work. Oh, and if he goes to attack the Banshee with the Marines, the siege tanks on the low ground can hit him.
Happy just doing everything right here at the end of this game.
And this is why the air advantage is crucial. Happy does have more Vikings than MMA. MMA only has 1 Viking on the map right now, so Happy can just abuse his air advantage for as long as it takes.
Yeah, and it's not going to take much longer, in fact. The Banshee alone can clean up the amount of Marines that MMA has left over here. It's actually just going to take out these siege tanks very carefully and systematically. Backs up, loses a Viking, but it's not too impactful.
Yeah, both players trading blows here. Happy definitely has the advantage here. MMA is going to have to pull a miracle out of his hat if he's going to win this. For some reason, he has some Marines attacking supply depots instead of at the front to protect his tanks from these Banshees. Marines coming in, but he's forced to unsiege and move back again by that Banshee. And Happy just keeps closing in closer and closer.
Yeah, we're actually just watching
siege tanks
MMA die slowly. There's not much much answer for this.
Yeah, and actually Happy is mining down at the bottom right now.
He's mining. MMA is not mining. He's got a command center floating around. It's actually being pursued right now by 1 Marine, which is slowly killing it, which you guys haven't gotten a shot of. It's actually burning down right now. And the 1 Marine with 15 hit points left is slowly killing it.
So Happy is going to tie this series up is what it looks like.
Starting to look that way. The command center barely escapes the 1 Marine. You guys are not getting a shot of it still, but it's the top. And, you know, Happy scans and says, oh, yeah, this game actually really is over. I don't know why you haven't GG'd yet.
Pretty much. Using a mule to repair injured tanks. These Vikings and Banshees are just killing everything. MMA down to 2 tanks. Happy could actually just move up the ramp at this point.
He absolutely could. There's 3 Marines dropped out of a medevac for MMA that not going to be enough to clean up everything else that that Happy has around the map. He has Cloak.
Research Cloak at that command center down or at the starports he built down at the bottom.
This is actually like that guy that I beat on BNet who was like really BM and like floated his buildings. Like, is that what's going on? GG.
GG.
All right, so Happy takes a long and interesting game. He just had the better army the entire time, and you know, at this point he was like, well, I have a better army than you. If you trade with me, then I'm going to be fine, and that's just what he decided to do. It worked out for him. He ties it up.
Yep. We have a tie ball game here, ladies and gentlemen.
The compositions are very similar for these 2 players, but MMA went for a 1-base attack, and it did not work. And when that happens, your opponent has more mining than you. He's got more production than you. Yeah. Happy made a lot of really sloppy mistakes at that point. That was why the game was close for a time. And MMA was like, well, I was thinking about GGing, but I did the one thing you wouldn't expect, and then you were really sloppy, and now it's a close game. And what he should have done was double expanded, and that's why those 6 Marines in the medevac kept checking. Yeah. They were like, where's the command center?
He should have double expanded way earlier. We should have double expanded at all. He just,
Happy,
he never got that 3rd expansion, did he?
He had a pretty
whole game.
Well, he did get it, but he never was able to use it. Those Marine squad in the medevac did finally find it. They've been on a pilgrimage this entire time to find the command, so they finally found it. And you know, even if Happy, if MMA had double expand, Happy could have gone around the other side, done a 2-pronged attack, and broken the siege line.
Yep. So we're gonna take.
Yep. We're gonna have a 5-minute
We're
break.
gonna have a 5-minute break.
We are. See you guys in 5.
See you guys in 5 minutes. Don't go anywhere.